Hello and welcome. B schools are increasingly creating content and verticals that have a direct impact on the constituency they serve. One example is the Indian School of Business, which has verticals focused on infrastructure, manufacturing, policy and healthcare, which are somewhat different from other B schools who don't perhaps have the same level of focus. But how is this working out? What is the kind of impact that it's having and where is it going? To discuss that, I'm joined by Pradeep Singh, CEO of Indian School of Business in Mohali, which hosts these verticals. Mr. Singh, thank you. So tell us, what has the experience been so far in running these verticals? What's the kind of feedback that you're getting from industry and of course the students who attend them?
Yeah, Govind, just to set the context, the ISB Mohali campus is now 1.5 years old.
Right.
We are currently the second batch of the flagship PGP program, the MBA program of ISB is currently in. This is the second campus. The ISB Hyderabad campus, of course, is 12 years old and very well known. Now, so one part of our activities on this campus is to do more of the same. We do the flagship MBA program, which is centralized admissions, centralized placements. It's the same program, one school, two campuses. Similar courses, same faculty. The faculty flies back and forth between the two campuses. And of course, the visiting faculty flies in from around the globe to both the campuses and so on. Similarly, the executive education programs are being done on both campuses. Of course, a lot more is currently happening in Hyderabad, but increasingly, very rapidly increasingly, more and more executive programs, executive education programs are also beginning to happen on the ISB Mohali campus. And we are finding that some of those programs look the same as the ones in Hyderabad, and some of them are drawing new participants from this region who find it more convenient now to be able to come and so on. The distinguishing feature of the ISB Mohali campus, however, as you were just pointing out, is the fact that there are these 4 institutes that have been established on this campus. These have a sectoral focus. They are focused on manufacturing, infrastructure, public policy and healthcare. And the idea is that these institutes will, within these sectors, do several things. One, they will provide specialized courses within the MBA program or the executive education programs for these respective sectors. So we are designing courses that are being taught in the PGP program and can, if a student takes sufficient number of those courses in a particular sector, can lead to what is called a concentration, that the student has a concentration in healthcare or in manufacturing or in infrastructure, if the student so wishes. In addition, these institutes are in the process of designing and implementing and delivering, in fact, we've delivered several, specialized executive education programs within these sectors.
For people from this sector?
For people from these sectors, mid-career professionals from these sectors. So you can have, you have professionals coming in from the government, you have professionals in the public policy school, we have healthcare professionals coming in for a healthcare executive education program, and so on. And these executive education programs, by their very nature, by definition, are typically 3 days to 3 weeks, maybe a month long. So these are short interventions. Number 3, these institutes are in the process of designing, particularly the Public Policy Institute is in a fairly advanced stage today, of designing a long-term, say a 12-month or a 15-month program at the postgraduate level, at the master's level, in that sector. So a master's in public policy, if you wish. And so far the idea is for these programs to be part-time in nature, long-term, with maybe 8 to 10 visits over a period of 12 to 15 months to the school, to ISB, and to where they will spend a week every time as contact hours, interacting with the faculty, attending classes. And in between those 8 to 10 visits, they would be doing work at home, aided by lots of material and facilitation that is provided on the internet, and including interactive classes that they'd be able to attend online during that period as well.
Right. So what's the kind of feedback that you've got for some of these areas like healthcare and infrastructure specifically?
Well, our understanding is that the market need the appetite for a sectoral focus of this nature is fairly high. As the economy grows, as some of these sectors, infrastructure, healthcare, I mean, you know, these are the boom sectors in many ways in this country. The skill sets available, trained manpower available in these sectors is clearly in short supply. The quality of that skill is way short of what the global standards today demand. So the demand is out there. It is for us to be able to now, and like I said, we are just 1.5 years old as a campus, and these institutes, in fact, have got going only in the last few months. We spent the first year stabilizing the main program, the flagship programs. And then, so there is a very substantial, we're very optimistic about our being able to create value and add to the meeting of needs of the market. In addition to these education-related programs, there is going to be a research focus in each of these institutes in the relevant sectors, right? But the driver here, in the case of the institutes in particular, is the desire and the mandate to make an impact, right? If you think of ISB's three main pillars, which is research, teaching, and impact. By an impact, I mean reaching out to the community, to the government, to the industry around us, and solving their problems, helping them address issues with the knowledge products that we are able to create. If you think of these three as being the pillars, or this being a triangle, let's say the institutes are driven by impact. The teaching and research is behind that wedge, if you like, driving that impact in. So these institutes will engage with the markets. For example, the Manufacturing Institute. Recently, on the 30th of November, we had an industry-academia interaction,
Right.
Industry-Academia Connect, we called it, where we invited industry associations and prominent industrialists from this region. They came from Baddi, they came from Ludhiana, they came from Amritsar, they came from Chandigarh, to come and meet with our faculty. And Mr. Sunil Munjal, who he himself was here and delivered the keynote address. The idea was to get to know each other. We don't want to be working in silos and ivory towers. We want to understand what the industry needs. We want the industry to know what's available out here. And there was a great deal of excitement that ensued. In fact, in the following couple of days, some of our visiting faculty members from MIT and other schools in the US who were here from the area of manufacturing and operations, they went and visited some of these factories. Projects and research projects are already beginning to take shape, and going forward we will be engaging with the industry more and more. So the idea is to first get a need assessment from the market, then develop responses, and then deliver on those responses through knowledge products. They could be sophisticated long-term research projects, they could be policy papers, policy analysis, white papers. Depending on the problem, we would tailor the solution.
Right. So what's the outlook for the year ahead, 2014? What have you got lined up, which is new and perhaps different?
These are all the various areas and activities that we will be developing and delivering in the year to come. And we are sort of now laying the foundations, if you like. And as you can imagine, the chicken in the chicken curry is the faculty. Right? I mean, they are the powerhouses, the intellectual ability to be able to deliver on all of these education programs, research.
And do you feel you have the right firepower when it comes to these areas like healthcare?
We are in the process of assembling it. We are in the process of identifying the faculty members within our existing pool, both of visiting faculty members and of resident faculty members. We are in the process of identifying what their interests and capacities are, because we have to make a fit between what the world out there seems to be wanting and what we have the capacity to provide. And that is a very delicate matching exercise. We don't want to get ahead of the story and overpromise. At the same time, we don't want to just keep sitting and saying, oh, we can't deliver on this, therefore we will do nothing.
Right. So last question. So can you say, tell me, what are the two key needs that you feel the world at large has, and how you will be trying to fulfill them or will be fulfilling them? I'll tell you that the needs could be, let's say, at the student level and at the executive level, as one way of approaching it.
Well, in the context in which we are, as I mentioned already to you, that currently the need that we are hoping to fulfill in one way or the other is a skill gap, right? And the whole country is talking about that.
Yeah.
And this gap exists at different levels, whether it's at the level of the plumber or the electrician, which I'm afraid we will not be able to contribute very much to addressing, or at the more sophisticated level of an engineering graduate who doesn't seem to be employable, or a management graduate from one of the schools who has a degree but doesn't seem to be able to deliver. So we are in different ways, through education, through capacity building, through programmatic interventions, effectively contributing to the upgradation of the skill levels and to the dissemination of knowledge to a wider and wider audience. We are actually having specific interventions that we are making within these institutes to that objective. There is a program that we are currently in the final stages of completing the design of, to work with a large number of engineering colleges in the state of Andhra Pradesh, under what is known as the TEP program, where our faculty members from ISB and from the Munjal Institute of Global Management will work with these engineering colleges in Andhra Pradesh, and the faculty members and the students in those colleges, to create entrepreneurial capacities, to create the capacities that will convert some of these engineering graduates into entrepreneurs, starting from their ability to do product design, to their ability to transfer those designs to concrete products and take them to market, and to do all that it takes to commercialize those technologies. So incubation centers, capacity building, and so on. So if we were to look for an organizing principle under all this, it is skill upgradation, and both in terms of quality and in terms of quantity.
And sort of fill the skill gap that this country has.
Fill the skill gap,
right.
Particularly in these four sectors.
Yeah.
And if you think about them, these four sectors are particularly suffering from, if you like, from this skill gap. In the case of manufacturing, for example, there is also the issue of scale. I mean, today, small and medium industry in India is poised for scaling up, and it needs to do that if it's going to be relevant and competitive in the global environment, but very often doesn't seem to quite know how to do that. Whether it's the financing issues, or the skill issues, or the market issues, or technology issues, they don't quite know what does it take to go from size X to size 10X. And unless you do that, the economies of scale are not available to you, and you will soon be marginalized.
Right.
Right. So those are the kind of issues that we are trying to address.
Right. Mr. Singh, we've run out of time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.